Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So back from my vacation, so we're getting to get back into channel read-throughs and showing up reactions and stuff as per normal. For read-throughs, I probably will wait until next week just to get back into them, just because I'm still kind of trying to recover this week and get my energy back before I get back into things. But yeah, so this week we're going to be getting caught up with Shonen Jump stuff. So I got some Kaiju No.8, Goku Rakuga, which I meant to cover before I left, but never got around to it, so I'll cover it today. The couple of chapters of Akane Banashi as well. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to. So if you like this content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let us dive into it with Kaiju No.8, Chapter 117 by Naoya Matsumoto. Translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Phil Christie. We'll pick up where we left off last time, with Kafka kind of confronting the samurai kaiju avatar in his dreamscape, going, "Then come, in order to form a stronger connection with us." And you see a bashoom and a gasp as Kafka wakes up in this field, surrounded by all these other samurai warriors. And you see he's got like a little cross-shaped cut on his cheek. Sorry, give me a second here. He's got a little cross-shaped cut on his cheek. What the hell happened? Hold on. As he's been plunged back into, I assume, the memories of whoever the previous host was. And you hear a charge as all the samurai just like running forward towards this giant kaiju. And you see like a flurry of arrows being fired off. And you see Kafka just being like jostled as he's standing there as all these warriors are rushing past him. And another one's like, "What are you doing? You're in the way! Have you gone weak in the knees?" And Kafka's like, "Wow, what is this? An ancient battlefield?" And you hear, "Charge! Charge!" He's like, "Charge? With these primitive weapons?" And you see him just looking like the halberd, like the armor he's wearing, and goes, "Every resource here is derived from kaiju, but without the aid of science, it's in a bare state. I learned from historical records that humans bonded directly with the kaiju's body by using parasitic kaiju tissue as a medium." So you see in the spear that he's holding, you can see little like arm veins, like veins going up his arms. That's why, let me just make sure it doesn't flip on me again. Yeah, you see these little like veins going up his arms from the spear. And he's like, "This not only doesn't draw out much power, but also puts astronomical strain on the body, far more than in our era." And you see as all the warriors are shouting, you see like the veils just like bulging on their faces. And you have a "Watch out!" As someone grabs Kafka, like grashes him out of the way as the Yoju just like slams his hand down. He's like, "A Yoju?" He's like, "What are you spacing out for? That's not like you." Oh, Christ. It's like, "You're gonna make the Saru squad captain weep." And you see one of Hoshina's ancestors with like this long black hair. As Kafka's like, "Vice Captain Hoshina?" It's like his ancestor? He's like, "Tora squad, arrow fire from the left. Tori squad, keep leading it to the trench." And you see a bunch of spearmen like going and pushing this kaiju into this little pit trap. "It's down! Fire cannons!" He's like, "Holy crap! These people actually use this equipment to fight kaiju?" And you see a little like ghost-like apparition that Kafka saw all those chapters ago, like showing up behind him again as he goes, "It was a day like any other, slaying kaiju while sacrificing many of our own, carrying out our harsh duty as we always did, or so we thought." You see there's a bunch of guys in the background just get like sending flying, and some have been like bisected by something. So we were faced with that thing after it appeared from within a body, and we had no means to defeat it. And see the current kaiju, the Dai Kaiju, just like launching itself at them. So it seems like assume it parasitized the other kaiju they were just fighting, or the Yoju they're just fighting. And Kafka's like, "Everyone out of the way! I'll take this guy out!" And you see just like swiping as he's like bisecting and killing more people. It's like, it didn't matter how fast a soldier was. It didn't matter how strong they were. It didn't matter that we had the swordsman called the greatest in all creation. And you see Hoshina's ancestors just being like speared by a kaiju tentacle. And it just like goes, like starts dropping him into its mouth. As Kafka screams out no, as if all were equally decimated. And you see it doing like this weird, like whatever chanting, and like bisects Kafka's legs off. And you see, as he's watching, you see it just like roaring as it goes on a rampage. He's like, our comrades, the fields we worked so hard to tend, the homes we were supposed to return to, our families, that creature stole all of it. We were helpless. And you see him just get like dropped into this deep reservoir underground. He's like, Ame. He's like, the shame. The shame, the shame, the shame, the shame. It's like, we were powerless. Hold on a second. So yeah, you see like a bunch of ghosts just like crawling all over him. He's like, the shame, the shame. And you see it all just like wrapping around, like forming him into, it's like insects, we were powerless. Yeah. I don't know how to specifically feel about this. I guess we'll talk about it. So you see at the end, like, all of them just kind of like cocoon, like all these spirits or the desires of these of all the dead soldiers kind of like wrap around him, like cocoon him and turn him into like the little kaiju insect that they infected Kafka at the very beginning. So get some quick thoughts on this one. Like, again, I speculated on this like so long ago. So this flashback isn't really telling us anything new. So it's like, alright, yeah, it's a protracted battle scene, like most of it just being Kafka standing there confused, being like, what's going on. So we get a little bit more details about like, in the past, the way they fought the kaiju, like they still used to fight them with like weapons derived from like kaiju flesh and things. And like, use parasitic kaiju tissue as a way to like draw out powers and stuff. So you see how like primitive things the tools were during that kind of era. But apart from that, I don't think there's anything super surprising. Like we see like, alright, this apparently like this kaiju parasitized the one Yoju that they're fighting, and it managed to take them out. So yeah, I don't know. Like, no, I don't feel like any of this was particularly compelling as a backstory. And initially I had thought at the very beginning where it's like, the samurai warrior was saying like, then come in order to form a stronger connection with us. I thought he had meant like him and the kaiju, because I thought the way this was going to go was like, there's a kaiju that was either experimented on, or maybe, did I ever speculate there was like a human that got transformed into a kaiju, which I guess technically is what happened. But I've speculated like, is this human that got transformed into one, that's why he got the thing, like, speculating like that's what the connection thing was, like, it'd be like the human, the kaiju, whatever, they got merged together. He was talking about forming a stronger connection with them. But looking at the end, it makes it seem more like he's talking about like the spirits of all the warriors, the despair that they all felt at not having been able to take it down. That kind of like warped them into this kaiju amalgamation. It seems like that's what he was talking about, like, learn about us. So yeah, I don't know. So on the one hand, this like, I know where it's like this is a manga, we're having like kaiju and like stuff like that, and we already talked about like having like ghosts in the machine, spirits and stuff like that. In a thing like that, it feels weird for me to kind of be like, I don't really care for this whole idea of like, somehow like through supernatural means he just transformed into a kaiju or became like a kaiju insect. But yeah, I don't know what I was expecting from the backstory. I don't think this was it. But I guess we'll wait to see where the next chapter goes, because it feels very, very short. I was expecting like a more protracted backstory, but I don't think there's honestly that much left. And again, this kind of makes me question like how much of the series is left, because this does feel like this kaiju feels like it's setting up to be like the big bad of the series. We'll see what happens with that. Decent chapter, but not one of my favorites, and I don't think it really gave me anything new or compelling to work with. So with all that said, I hope you all did enjoy that. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I will be getting around to all the Shonen Jump chapters today. So look forward to that. Then hopefully read-throughs will be back sometime next week. Once I've had a little bit more time to kind of rest and recharge. Because I have to do a lot of stuff this week to catch up on things. There's going to be a lot of good content coming your way. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.